Democratic friends accept our path forward on trade yesterday. Under our plan, the Senate will avoid the poison pills that have been floated in favor of the very type of bipartisan approach we've been advocating all along. It follows the regular order. It allows senators to express themselves without endangering more American trade jobs for the people we represent. So this is good news. It's good news for bipartisanship. It's good news for a new Congress that's getting back to work. And it's good news for America's middle class. The people we represent deserve the kind of good jobs we could secure by knocking down unfair trade barriers. One estimate shows that trade agreements with Europe and the Pacific could support as many as 1.4 million additional jobs here in our country.
1993, the distinguished senator from Kentucky, our majority leader, Mitch McConnell, said that, and I quote, "American firms will not move to Mexico just for lower wages," end of quote, Mitch McConnell. Well, is what President Clinton, is what the Heritage Foundation, is what Mitch McConnell said, did that turn out to be correct? Well, of course it did not. What happened was exactly the opposite of what they said.
In Kentucky, they could support more than 18,000 additional jobs. But we can't get there without first passing the kind of legislation we'll vote to open debate on this afternoon. It's the only way to enact the clear standards and guidelines our trade negotiators need to move forward and that Congress needs to appropriately assert its authority in this area. So yesterday's agreement is significant. I want to thank Chairman Hatch and his negotiating partners for the good bipartisan cooperation that got us to where we are. I'd like to thank the President, too. No, you're not hearing things. President Obama has done his country a service by taking on his base and pushing back on some of the more ridiculous rhetoric we've heard. He was right to remind everyone that, quote, "You don't make change through slogans," end quote, or ignoring realities. He should be recognized for it. The American people sent divided government to Washington, but it doesn't mean that they don't want us to work together.
1993, the distinguished senator from Kentucky, our majority leader, Mitch McConnell, said that, and I quote, "American firms will not move to Mexico just for lower wages," end of quote, Mitch McConnell. Well, is what President Clinton, is what the Heritage Foundation, is what Mitch McConnell said, did that turn out to be correct? Well, of course it did not. What happened was exactly the opposite of what they said. According to the well-respected economists at the Economic Policy Institute, NAFTA has led to the loss of more than 680,000 jobs. In 1993, the year before NAFTA was implemented, the United States had a trade surplus with Mexico of more than $1.6 billion. Last year, the trade deficit with Mexico was $53 billion. So all of the verbiage that we heard about NAFTA being so good for American workers turned out to be